ask you, what is OD?
Well, again, I mean, OD can be defined, I think, in many ways, but probably the definition that I'd like to use is that it's a sequence of planned change efforts inside an organization. And usually that is top down, so it basically emanates out of the top leadership. And they want to change something in the way of how people are interacting with each other, how the organization is set up from the people's perspective. And through these efforts and activities, you will realize at the end of the day a boost in the effectiveness and efficiency of the organization. Now, the way I try to kind of simplify OD is that I contrast it with an equally important effort, which is BD, or business development, okay? Business development is trying to enhance the corporation vis-a-vis what's external. So vis-a-vis the markets, vis-a-vis the clients, products and services. Now, if you kind of reverse that internally in the organization and you want to enhance the corporation from a people's perspective, from a cultural perspective, then basically that's OD. One of the things that OD can cater to is business process re-engineering, is total quality management. Okay, so again, everything, almost everything that you can imagine that is internal to the organization and will develop it, basically falls under the umbrella.
In my line of work, one of the things that we look for is people engagement. Okay, so to engage people, you have to set the culture, you have to set the environment, you have to set the standards and everything. And it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this is very much what you're talking about when you're looking at organizational development from that standpoint, is that you're getting employees or people engaged, you're making them feel loyal, committed, and wanting to push their company. And definitely this all starts with management. In corporate Egypt, or in the Egyptian world, basically, so to speak, I don't know how far OD is. I do hear a lot that there are OD professionals, not that I know what they do. From an HR perspective rather than an organizational development perspective, so how can you help me on that?
Okay. Well, again, I think, I believe that we still have a predicament in how OD is defined and is valued and is treasured, basically, not only in Egypt, but in the Middle East in general. And I think we have borrowed this dilemma basically from the international landscape, because believe it or not, we are still having problems with defining OD on a global level. Historically, OD emerged basically as a humanistic democratic movement to kind of counter the systematic, the mechanistic inclinations that people had. People think that OD should be oriented towards the hard side of the organization, as I said, business process re-engineering, total quality management. Other people believe that it should be inclined more to the soft side of the organization.
Do you see OD even flourishing in such areas? What can anybody do? How can HR help? How can business development help? How can we change the mindset of the leaders to understand the value? Again, everything has to translate into numbers at the end of the day.
That's a very good question.